Tonight on KGW News, a MAX operator helps catch a man who was attacking his passengers.
I stepped in when I knew I had to.
How he used his cell phone charger to stop him. Plus, an interesting alternative for holiday shopping, how you can bid on forgotten treasures left behind in Oregon. And Portland unveils its third site, soon to be a sanctioned homeless village. But first, a year's gone by with no answers.
It's really sad and it's frustrating.
A Portland woman longs for closure in her grandson's unsolved murder. Your news starts now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brittany Folkers in tonight for Laurel. Tomorrow marks 1 year since Ian Phillips was found shot and killed in Northeast Portland. Police haven't released any updates or named any suspects in this case. Almu McCarty spoke with his grandmother about the search for answers.
In Portland, on Northeast 122nd in the Hazelwood neighborhood, stands this tree.
I call it the only witness to the murder. So far, it won't talk to me or give up any information, but we put pictures up of Ian on the tree and light candles and plant flowers.
Different photos show Ian Phillips at different stages in his life before his murder 1 year ago.
Adventurous, inquisitive, fun soul.
His grandmother, Judy Grace, points out her favorites.
This is Ian as a boy. He's about 6 years old. That is a self-portrait of Ian that he drew when he was 4 years old. I never realized he was an artist. It's a nice monument, but would rather have Ian.
On November 23, 2020, after 1 a.m., Portland police found Phillips shot to death in his car in this parking lot.
Punch in the gut when the detective called me to tell me that Ian was dead.
Despite a year's time, a Crime Stoppers alert and reward released in February, PPB reports there is no new information. Ian Phillips' homicide remains unsolved.
The fact that after a year they don't have any suspects, the possibility of it ever being solved is really almost nil.
As another holiday without Ian approaches, this family prays for a breakthrough in the case. The pain of his absence undeniable and enduring.
I really miss him. He was. There's so many things that I would have liked to share with him.
So far, the details are limited in this case, but if you have any information, contact Crime Stoppers of Oregon. Tips can be submitted anonymously. Crime Stoppers offers up to $2,500 in reward money for information that leads to an arrest.
Thank you. Well, we are following some breaking news in Happy Valley tonight. We want to get to that. Sheriff's deputies are asking people to avoid the area of Southeast Stevens near Monterey Avenue. This is a live look at the scene. There's a large police response, but right now they're not releasing any details on what happened. We'll update you as soon as we learn more. Oregon met a sad benchmark today. More than 5,000 people have now died from COVID in the state. The director of the Oregon Health Authority asked people to consider ways to make their holiday plans safer for loved ones who may still be at risk.
Each death leaves a hole in someone's home and someone's heart that will never be filled again. These losses are especially painful because nearly all our most recent deaths could have been prevented by COVID-19 vaccines, which remain the best protection against serious illness and death.
Thankfully, cases, hospitalizations, and deaths in Oregon continue their downward trend. The state's averaging about 900 new cases a day right now. New tonight, a MAX operator is sharing his story after he helped stop an attack on a platform this weekend. Using a flashlight and a phone cord, he got the suspect under control.
Nobody ever expects to have to deal with any sort of an emergent situation when they come to work.
But that's exactly where Chris Parker found himself Friday night. He was driving a MAX train on the Green Line when he pulled up to the Clackamas Town Center stop.
And I opened the door to step out onto the platform, and I had noticed that the gentleman was in an altercation with 2 other passengers.
Chris saw the man swinging what turned out to be a pair of scissors at the other passengers.
He was making contact, and so I thought it was going to be pretty bad.
At first, he tried to keep other people away from the man. Then, the suspect pinned one of the victims to the ground, still with the knife in his hand.
We're here to make people feel safe, and so we don't have weapons, that we at our disposal. The only thing I had was my flashlight.
Chris says he hit the man's hand with a flashlight, knocking the scissors away. That's when he realized he had another tool at his disposal.
A 10-foot phone cord that's braided, and so I ended up grabbing that from my bag and tied his feet together so I could keep him kind of like under control, and I sat on his feet.
Chris says the 2 victims also played a key role in holding the man down until police got there. Thankfully, they walked away with just minor injuries.
You just got to let people know that you're there for them.
Brittany Folkers, KGW News. When sheriff's deputies arrested the man, he made comments that made them believe his actions may have been racially motivated. So now he faces assault and bias crime charges. Well, now let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. Portland city officials plan to put one of the new sanctioned homeless camps near Multnomah Village. It's at the former Sears Army Reserve Center, or as many knew it, the Sears site. We found pieces of some of the shelters at the site tonight, waiting to be put together. Supporters say the Safe Rest Village will give houseless Portlanders a place to sleep and access to services. City Commissioner Dan Ryan expects to have 6 homeless villages up and running by the end of the year. So far, only 2 locations are under construction. This location, announced today, is the 3rd. A man is in jail tonight, accused in a hostage situation that shut down a southeast Portland neighborhood. This was near Division and 117th last night. Police finally got the suspect into custody after a 10-hour standoff where he was shooting at officers on and off. A woman was found dead inside the home. So far, we don't know the cause of death. Police say officers did not fire their guns. They did use a chemical agent to try to get the suspect to surrender. A car busted through the front of a store on East Burnside in Portland tonight. This is Oregon's Best Buds, a marijuana shop near Burnside and 102nd Avenue. You can see the car lodged through a window on the front of the building. Luckily, we found out no one was hurt. It's not clear yet what caused this accident. Well, this Black Friday, the Oregon State Treasurer hopes that you'll think outside the box and see what folks left inside their old safe deposit boxes. Catherine Cook has a look at the unique online auction.
They are the treasures once cherished, now abandoned, forgotten, or otherwise disowned. But who, I ask you, would not lay claim to this Portland Trailblazers silver coin set? Drexler, Duckworth, Kersey, Porter, and Williams, each a treasure in their own right. Or perhaps this, well, whatever it is, someone once paid good money to keep it in a bank safe deposit box somewhere in Oregon. Same story for all of these items, from silver bars and gold watches to stamps and graded baseball cards. All told, 89 lots of unclaimed property now on the Oregon State Treasury's online auction block.
There's really a little bit for everybody.
Claudia Chibanu is Trust Property Director at the Oregon State Treasury, where they receive the contents of 1,000 unclaimed safe deposit boxes every year.
We've had these for almost 4 years now, and then the banks had them for 2 to 5 years before they send them to us. So at some point, it's just unmanageable to hang on to all of them, but our preference is that we give those property owners their contents intact.
Pre-bidding is happening now until 11 a.m. on Black Friday. That's when the live auction kicks in, hosted by Capital Auction and Estate Services. Past auctions have fetched $120,000. Money raised goes into the state's Common School Fund. There, the principal amount from each sale is held for the rightful owners. Interest earned goes to Oregon's K-12 public schools.
One thing the state will never sell or dispose of are military medals. Instead, they'll post photos on the Treasury's website where people can search for them.
We really hope that folks, either the medal earners themselves or their families, come forward and get those.
Around $80 million in unclaimed funds are reported to the state every year. To see if any of it belongs to you, just go to unclaimed.oregon.gov and look up your name. And while you're online, check out the auction. One man's forgotten treasure could soon be yours. Catherine Cook, KGW News.